Recording is in progress.
Recording is happening. Okay. So, um, last week you said something before I introduced myself. Um, Last week you said something that really stood out to me, and I circled it and underlined it 1,000 times. And it says, just hit record, launch an adventure, discover as we go. So, that is what we are doing today as we hit record. As I think we are going to put this out to people because that's the intention.
Yep.
We can introduce ourselves and pretend that we're fancy or whatever. But I'm Raven Bonniwell. I am a life and leadership coach and an entrepreneur and a creator uh, and yeah, that's what I've got to say about myself. Let's start there. Go ahead, you do it.
I'm Alison Anne. I am a public speaker and an author. I work primarily in the hospitality space, those folks working in bars and restaurants primarily. And that's what I got.
Yeah. And we're just talking on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And we've been having these conversations for, I don't know, a couple months now. And they're they've been really supportive, and we've been talking about some kind of, I don't know, how would you describe them? Like we've been talking about some what do we what spurred this, Allie?
Well, it was spurred by wanting to just be in connection around like supporting each other to create what's next in our lives so that we're not doing it alone, like sitting in our
Mhm.
homes, putting pressure on ourselves and freaking out about like what's next for me or like, oh gosh, I need to like generate my whole life now. And like, what if instead we got to like many hands make light work, brainstorm with other
Mhm.
people, turn it into fun and community and support.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it both Allie and I are solopreneurs, if you will. Um and while on one hand it's been really fun for me to be on my own schedule and create my own thing and be able to come and go as I please, it gets very lonely. Um and I think uh we we all become I think we're becoming more and more isolated all the time as a society, where we can kind of just sit back and not go out and not connect, not network, right? Like do things online. And I think that the feeling of the feeling of having to do that is pretty strong. Like, oh, I'm an island and I have to do all of these things by myself. Is I think is strong in at least what I can see, and the people that I kind of talk to as clients and whatnot. And your what you said about really not having to do this, and that this is we don't have to be islands, and we can actually push our islands together a little bit and still do our own thing, but have the support of each other.
Well, yeah. And then the irony of like when we first started having these conversations, there was like a real push and a little, I don't think we were putting pressure on ourselves, but there was this kind of like looming thought that like we needed to come up with like a business idea, that this
Mhm.
brainstorming was going to lead to some sort of like next step for our businesses that we could support each other with or maybe do together. And then over the course of the last few months, we just had so many conversations where it was like, man, I bet if people had just been listening in on us talking about this, probably would have really, really supported some people.
Mhm.
And this idea that maybe just like the conversation and the connection is the way, it is the thing to create and to put out in the world, that everything doesn't
Mhm.
have to be this like money making venture. And instead, we
Mhm.
can just support people by being ourselves and being with each other and having these conversations we were already having.
Hmm. Yeah. And I mean, I think that it's a way, right? Like I don't know if it's the way or if this, I love the idea of that this is an adventure and we're launching an adventure because it's like, I don't know. We don't know what this is going to be or turn into. And gosh, we could do th two of them. Let's give it past one, but let's say we'll do two of them and then cut it off and be like, oh my God, this, what were we thinking? But, I think we like talking to each other and there's this place of like being with what is and just going with it as from a place of enoughness, right? Like this is enough and this is what we're connected to right now and this is what we're doing. And it's also what lights us up, right? Like I am so tired of trying to like do the right thing that feels wrong to me, right? Or that feels like, oh, this is a slog. I don't want to go do that thing or do it in the way that somebody else does it. I want to do things that light me up because that's important and that's how I want to live my life. So I think that that's also the thing in these conversations is that I actually look forward to talking to you every week. And that I think makes uh it makes me more I have like more cisterns firing, because I actually want to be here and talk to you and explore and think about things in a different way. Yeah.
A lot of these calls about like aligned energy and where it feels like my energy says like yes to something,
Mm-hmm.
and those being avenues to listen to and follow, rather than saying like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, it would be nice to just do things that bring me joy all the time, but
Mm-hmm.
society or like the business guides or the person I saw on Instagram says that I have to post every day or send out a daily email or
Mm-hmm.
and
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's what for you is different about doing this like this right now?
well, it's really funny because for those of you listening, maybe there will be people listening, who knows, I don't know. um we talked about a few things that we have talked about over the last couple of months, that like maybe like, oh, like what do we want our first topic to be, and it wasn't until the second you hit the record button and then we started that I was like, oh, now I'm performing. Now I feel like I have to show up in a certain way and give certain context and backstory. Like there's still an element of like we're just two people and we're just talking, and also there's this like awareness of
Mhm.
the fact that this might go somewhere, might be seen by people, that is like kind of putting up a wall between that like true, genuine, in the moment connection that we usually have, where like the conversation flows so naturally, goes to such deep places, just because like that's where we're willing to let it go. Um, which I think is just so perfect for the people we've talked about reaching, the impact that we've talked about having, because I do think that there is this um, strong experience from a lot of the women that I've talked to, especially older women, that there's like, they have older, I said older, like, you know, we're both, we're both
Like
40.
our age?
Yeah. Yeah. Like young women who are just not in college anymore.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
but like that sense of like, I know who I am. I know who I like to be in the world. And gosh darn, if it isn't that, like, as soon as somebody's watching or there's a goal to reach or there's like high stakes or some sort of pressure, all of a sudden I'm like acting in this way where I'm like, this isn't me, or like, this isn't fun anymore. So I don't even remember your question at this point, but that's what came up for me is I'm like, oh, isn't this interesting? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and thanks for addressing it because it did feel immediate. Like, oh, everything changed. And
yep.
for me, it's like it's me heightened. It and I am doing that thing that I imagine having like talking to other women and feeling this way too, right? That place of you turn on and you
Mhm.
perform and I, I notice for me, I'm like, oh my God, I sound so dumb. I have to talk and I'm struggling for words. And some of it is my normal speech pattern and some of it is what I do, but it feels magnified right now when I'm performing. And it feels, I can tell like my heart rate is higher and I mean, thank goodness I didn't pour myself a coffee and it's tea, but but it feels kind of like that. And I think that, it is that thing that sometimes I think turns me off from doing things like this because it's like, how do I be, how do I be real?
Yeah.
Um, and, and is real good enough? You know, like what do I have to turn into some sort of like podcaster or talk show host or whatever. And I mean, I'm certainly not in enough like hair and makeup and I'm like, oh, I haven't painted my office yet. Oh God, like they're gonna see it.
Walking on a walking pad. Is that weird? Do they wonder why I'm
Yeah,
doing that? Yeah, like,
yeah, yeah. I'm in slouchy pants. Nobody can see it, but like, when I want to feel like I'm professional, I put on real pants and I didn't do that today. And I regretted it from the moment I sat here, but also like I'm comfy and I can move. So whatever.
right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
like if you and I were just talking, like we have been on Tuesdays for months now, we wouldn't give a fuck that I'm on a walking pad and that you're in comfy pants and the
No.
conversation would happen anyway. Yeah. So there's just like this really strong question for like how do we like almost like forget that it's recording and just like be with each other in the way that
Mhm.
we were and like is that important does like is there like a both and of like sure yeah like pretend it's not recording and I'm aware that this is something that we're doing and something we're trying and we do want it to be like valuable for
Mhm.
people and um
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we talked about before, when we were talking about doing this, right, is and that I opened with is the just hit record.
mhm,
Because and I think that that goes along with this idea of like what it feels like to perform and how this is a stark difference, which it just is cool to just have the experiment, to just be like, whoa, okay, that's what happens to me. But it's it's that place of like this doesn't have to be perfect, right?
mhm,
And you and I both get into that place of like, again, my office doesn't look like a Hollywood movie set, right? And I am not a film person. Like I don't know how to do that. And whenever I create stuff, it's not good enough. And it takes so much out of me to like figure out how to edit and put it all together and then hope that it's good enough or engaging enough for somebody to watch it. And I think that that's that is part of why we're doing this and what I said to you when I pitched that conversation, I was like, what if we just don't edit it? What if we just do nothing other than just record this and learn from it, just one foot in front of the other, just like you're doing right there, like, yeah, you're walking, I'm sitting in my office, drinking my tea in my slouchy pants. Like, this is just what it is, and it doesn't have to be perfect.
yeah, yeah, and
Hmm.
like how often that perfectionism it doesn't just show up in the midst of the thing or in the editing process, but in fact, like stops it from starting in the first place. Like, and we
Hmm.
almost let it happen last week where it was like, okay, like what and what should we talk about? What should our first topic be? What should, like, that
Mhm.
urge to get it right and have something interesting and have something worthwhile, like, it just goes back to worth, like,
Mhm.
oh, this needs to be worthwhile, we gotta figure it out. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
what if we just like play,
Yeah.
let what's
Yeah.
going to be and grow as we are doing
Mhm.
the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think it's it feels so universal around my life right now too, of that play, like where else am I performing and not playing and not just letting it roll? I think about actually, I told a client this morning something that I've been noodling on, but I actually said it to her. I was like, you know what takes so much time is the bullshit like
Oh,
that we just go through of, oh, maybe I should just like write a list of all the things I need to do rather than doing them one at a time. And that's sort of how this feels too, of instead of just pushing the button and recording it and doing it, like putting it out there. And I'm still like, even doing this, I'm going, well, I mean, maybe I'll edit a little bit of that beginning out, or maybe, how long are we going, Allie? I like, it's going to be too long. Do I have to cut segment? Shut up, brain. Just do it and see right? Get the data, get the all of that, rather than think about all the crap and go through all of the stuff, because that's what takes up all the time. And I think about this for me, I've been implementing this lately, after I discovered that that was what was taking most of my time. And I have so much more time on my hands. Like, I've been watching the Olympics.
oh,
Yeah. Like all sorts of random stuff too. Like I'm enjoying, but I'm watching stuff that I'm like, I would not have watched the amount of skiing and snowboarding and I don't know, speed skating that I've watched at this point. Yes, I'm watching ice skating because that's what I always watch, but I'm having time is the point. And part of me feels super lazy that I can sit and watch the Olympics and I feel like I'm not doing enough. And yet, everything on my list has been checked off and done. And I'm fighting this slight battle almost with myself because my mind and body does not understand quite yet what this is, right? Oh, what does it mean that you checked all of it off? It wasn't hard. Shouldn't you be doing more? Couldn't you be doing more? Why are you sitting around and watching the Olympics? And I'm realizing is that it is just the transition. I've had this breakthrough and now I'm on this like, I'm on Bambi legs again, right? Being like, oh, what's it feel like now that I've done this and I've got more time? Do I need to fill it? Right. And then create that issue again. So I think that part of this is for me, like I get that breakthrough again, or that like, aha, yes, drilling this in, cut the bullshit, just do.
yeah. And I think it does feel unsafe to like a lot of people's nervous systems to allow ourselves to rest or to say like that's sufficient for today and stop
Mhm.
producing and stop accomplishing and stop achieving. But actually, I will you. I'm super like what. Give an example of like what's something that was on your list. What would the bullshit have looked like before you were practicing this? Like, what did you cut out and like just do?
Yeah. Gosh. Okay. So I feel like a lot of it is like with like just make that call, just send that text, just,
Mm.
I okay, so for instance, a friend of mine and I are like working through creating this networking event that's really more relationship building with women in business in our community. And the idea is really to build relationships. It's not necessarily to network, right? Like it's like, yeah, I mean, if we create friendships with other women in business, like there's support there, right? Like we're talking about earlier. And and we're trying to like put all of these people and pieces together. And being still relatively new to this area, I don't actually know a lot of women business owners, but my friend knows a lot more. But I had this idea for somebody to invite that I think very highly of. And for me, I'm like, oh my God, what a get if she were to come. Ah, you know. And I feel like in the past, before this breakthrough, I would have sat around and stewed on that and not invited her and thought, gosh, I really need to reach out to her. But exactly what do I say? You know, I probably would have written a couple of drafts. I probably would have put it through ChatGPT. I probably, you know, like all of that energy. And this time, instead of that, I just sent an email and said, hey, my friend and I are doing this. I thought of you. It would be so great to have you. Here's the invite and place to RSVP. Let me know what you think. You know, hope you're having a good day. Totally like just did it. And that was it, right? I will say, like, I don't know if she's coming or not, but I've put it out there, right? It's done and checked off that list. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that reminds me too of just like how often the preamble, the bullshit, the trying to come up with like the perfect, just right thing is trying to control an outcome that we have no control over. It's like, if I get ChatGPT to write me the perfect right email, then she'll definitely come. And it's just like, I actually don't have control over this person. I have no idea what it might take for her to say yes. So I'm just wasting a lot of time by trying to get something right to control something that I have no control over.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And most of the time, I mean, for me at least, it has all to do with me. It's this, oh, well, if I don't say the exact right thing, she might not like me anymore, and she might never ever open an email for me again. And she might, what if she feels like blah, 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 blah. And it's like, she this person can have whatever feelings like none of it actually has to do with me. I'm just making an invitation and thought of somebody, and that's all that it is, right? It doesn't actually have anything to do with whether I should ever throw an event or ever invite anybody anywhere ever again, you know. But I make it mean that way, that before I actually do the thing. Yeah.
Me, it's like relatively objective third party observer. I'm just like, you invited her to a thing and you let her know that you were thinking about her. Like, how lovely is that? Like, that's such a nice, delightful thing. And if she doesn't take it as, yeah, if she doesn't take it that way, then like, okay, she's got some stuff around some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's why that's part of why it's nice to have these conversations, right? Is to actually get out of our own heads and have you say that to me and be like, right, this has nothing to do with me other than great job, Raven, you're planning a party. Like other than that, right? It's not that part of of the equation has nothing to do with me, who I am, um, at all, right? And but you can reflect that, and in here it goes, "Yeah, it's all about you." Yeah.
What if she thinks I'm a dum dum? That's my thing. Dum dum.
Yes.
Dum dum shows up so much. It's such a dum dum. Yeah,
Dum-dums are also lollipops, you know, and people tend to like those.
we'll do. Lots
Yeah,
of different flavors. There's something for everyone in
that's
dum dum.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I
Yeah.
was also thinking that like when I was like, we don't know what it would take to say to like get her to say yes. Like she might know what it would take, and the only way to get that information is to be in relationship and like be in connection with her
Hmm.
to have that conversation. And so like
Hmm.
you initiated the thing that has the possibility to have this conversation with this woman to like find out what she needs in order to be included and want to come to your event. And
Mm-hmm.
by trying to glean that information from the cosmos, you stopped giving yourself the exact thing that it would take to get what you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 I mean, it is. It's about being in connection with this person and not crossing fingers, closing eyes, right? Like all of the things. It's not actually about that. And to put the energy on that, like you said, is actually severing a connection somewhere else. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, my thought, I mean, I'm putting it over to you, but this seems kind of like a good place to wrap up this first just push record session, which is now what I'm calling this. I don't even know. Talking on Tuesday. What do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, look at that. This
A
seems like
natural ending.
yeah, nice place to wrap up.
Okay, cool. You want to do it again?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right, me too. Well, I'm gonna stop recording and yeah, maybe we'll do it again next week.
I'll definitely see you next week and probably see all the rest of you next week too.
Yeah, maybe so. See. Um, I guess we should say something like, if you are watching, can you let us know, I suppose?
Good idea.
That'd be good. However you want to let us know, direct message, thumbs up, whatever platform this is on.
Drop a
Yeah.
comment. Yeah, send a
Yes.
DM.
Yeah. All of those things that the kids are doing these days, or the kids used to do. All right.